Hey guys, it's Monday. Had an easy week last week, so had like 3 weeks of solid training after starting my first races. So they were all like 14 hours, 900 TSS per week. Then last week it was significantly easier, so about 9 hours, 450 TSS. And then I took the weekend off, so Saturday, Sunday off, even though I felt absolutely great. However, yesterday on Sunday, I felt I had a bit of a sort of sore throat, and I was thinking this might turn into a cough here. And so yeah, because it hadn't gone away by the middle of the day, I was on the paracetamol, and then woke up really early this morning at like 4:05, with pretty bad cough, and yeah, getting better today. But yeah, definitely taking today off. Probably take tomorrow off too, and just definitely not getting straight back to it this week. So it was originally planned that I'd take last week off and then back to it this week, but yeah, need a little bit more time. I got a 15-mile time trial on Saturday, so I should be absolutely fine to do that. But yeah, I just need to give myself a couple of days and then get back into the training. But yeah, I should be absolutely fine, and learning a lot with how my body works with regard to illness. And I was thinking, like, this is the most conservative I've been. Like 14 hours is, I mean, it's good. It's a good amount of training, but it's not crazy. So yeah, I'd had 3 like pretty good weeks, and then I took a significantly easier week, and I would have thought I'd be absolutely fine from this, but you can still get unlucky with illness. It's not all just to do with your training, and I think it was a little bit of bad luck. I mean, my cousin was over and she was pretty ill, so maybe I picked it up from her, but it doesn't really matter really. I'm feeling a little bit better this afternoon, and crack on with some stuff. So doubt I'll be able to get it all done, but definitely set up some of the stuff with a Propel. Yeah, I got the spacers, so I'm just gonna go as high stack as it's a pretty low geometry, so I'm just going to go all the spacers. I think it's like 4.5 mil of spacers, just figuring out what everything is. So that's the Shimano Di2 battery, a little wedge clamp for the battery to go in the seat tube, a little rubber pad, a little tool to unplug Di2 cables, seat post clamp, seat post cover, some other things that I'm not quite sure what they are really. And then just some basic stuff for the bike. So yeah, have a crack on with that, and so you can get this bike almost ready to ride. Also got some stuff with the Trinity that I'm wanting to play around with this week before the race on Saturday. Right, managed to figure out how to put the headset together, so that's all good. Take off all this red tape, yellow tape. Right, charging the Di2. Just got the battery, just taping it to the frame for the minute, just while just charge it up, check it's all alright, and then figure out how to get it in the seat post. It already was shifting, but I think it's got low charge, so front shifting wasn't working. But yeah, give it a charge, check that front derailleur and rear derailleur are working, and then all good. And like I say, figure out how to get it in the seat post. There we go, derailleurs are working. Good. So play around with getting it in the seat post. Might have been ill and felt like shit today, but it's been a good day for bike maintenance. Yeah, got the seat post in with the Di2 battery securely in there, and still working, so that's good. So I made sure the cables were running down there, because one of the cables was longer, so it was kind of a bit tricky to do that, but made sure it wasn't getting pinched. I'm not getting in this gap because that's where the seat post clamp goes into, but also use the carbon paste, and yeah, seems all good. So get to play around with this bike over the next few days. Very happy with that. There we go, that's the Propel. Also managed to adjust the mount on the Trinity so that it like goes upwards, so it clears the poles. Able to put my cycling computer in it. Look at that. Very fancy. So I need to get there's a specific light, 3D printed scoop to put the light in. It's these exposure lights, so I'll order one of them, and then it'll be a very clean setup. Hey guys, it's Wednesday. Still not quite feeling right. Yeah, really quite stuffy today. A lot better than I was yesterday, so I've been steadily getting better. But yeah, don't feel like training is going to do me any good today, but I'm feeling much better, so I definitely want to be cracking on with something. And based on how Friday went, obviously power's not the issue for my time trialing at the moment, and getting aero is. So I'm just going to play around on the TT bike a little bit. I wouldn't classify this as training really, and just
get the legs moving a little bit, see what the heart rate's doing, but mainly just looking at the position and seeing what things I need to cue, because I've got some ideas about like how my body behaves. I also put the Cetero saddle on the bike the other day, and I was measuring up the geometry. So with the Cetero, 5 centimeters behind the bottom bracket, which it roughly is right now, as a Cat 2 height rider, it gives me a certain range of extension at the front. And with the current setup, it's probably just over the allowable limit, so I'd always need to shorten it. But with the longer extensions of the front, that just means that you're kind of able to shrug more. So say on Friday, my position was probably something like this, where I definitely wasn't shrugging, I definitely wasn't rolling the shoulders forward, but at the same time I wasn't able to bury my head, just because like the way the reach is, the hands are way too far in front of me that I'm just going to have no visibility. Thinking about burying my head, it's all to do with having a short reach, so then I can bury the head and I can see over the top of my hands properly. But with the longer reach, you could do the shrug. This is just like an exaggerated version, but I think it's too long. I think I still prefer to be shorter, but it means that I lift my head. If I'm lifting my head to sight better, then my shoulders are still narrower. So the position that I've been working towards on the bike is more of a short reach and just burying my head. So getting my hands back as far as possible. So I kind of be like, ideally just like be able to look over my hands. But to bury my head like this, the shrug doesn't really matter. The shrug doesn't really do anything, so you don't need to worry about it. But the issue is, if my head rises. So on Friday with the poor road surface, I had my head higher up just to scout the best line to avoid the potholes and such. So the issue is, when I'm not burying my head, my shoulders do get wider. When I'm nice and tucked in, it's narrower. But then when my head rises, it's what my shoulders are definitely wider. Whereas if you do the shrug, so for me that's just like pulling the shoulders forward. When my head's higher, I'm still narrower compared to when I didn't shrug. And if I can get my head down too, it's fantastic. But if my head rises, then I'm still narrower. So the benefit of the shrug is when you've got your head more up, for the poorer sections of road, I'm going to lift my head up more. So if I can introduce a little bit of a shrug, then it means that when I do inevitably lift my head up, that my shoulders are going to still stay narrower compared to not doing a shrug and then my head comes up and then my shoulders are super wide. So after having a film and a think, then another film and another think, I think I understand. If you go really long on the extensions, it kind of forces you into a shrug just because the extension length is so long. It basically forces you into a shrug, but it doesn't mean you can't shrug with a shorter reach. So if you bring the extension length to be shorter, you can still shrug, but it is more effort to do so rather than just artificially creating this shrug by having a really long reach. So I think my ideal situation would be short reach and the shrug, but then if I get the reach short enough, I can just get my head down to my hands and see over the top of my hands, and then that position is all right. And then I've got two positions I can be in. I can be in have my head slightly higher, but I'm making sure I'm shrugging, or I'm getting my head right down there, and then the width of my shoulders is negligible. Definitely shorten the extensions though. So yeah, I'll take out some of the spacers. Yeah, so I've gone ahead and removed 4 centimeters of spacers from the poles and brought them really much further back in. So yeah, you see the excess poles sticking out now. Also rotated the bars inwards so they're even narrower. And yeah, this already it just feels so much more right. Very happy I've played around with making these changes, because yeah, this just feels much more natural. Yeah, super happy with those changes that I've made. At least I can do something when I'm ill. I've moved my Citero from my Cervelo, but just comparing the two bikes with the saddle in roughly the same place as to where it was, they're looking very similar in terms of reach. So yeah, really shortening the reach just brought it down to the sort of position I was thinking of on the Cervelo, which is good. So much more comfortable in those massive arm cups compared to these ones, and with them being higher up, I'm on my forearms, whereas these I'm getting a lot more elbow on them. Actually, not so much now that I've gone to the shorter reach, but because they're so much bigger, it's just, and yeah, there's obviously the padding here as well, so much more comfortable. Plus the where you hook your hand at the end. Hey guys, it's Thursday. Feeling like a human being again, which is good. Still a bit nasally, a bit sneezy. Feeling like I want to sneeze. But yeah, definitely want to get out and see how I feel on the bike. But gonna get out and do some cornering practice. Start off with, and then head out for. I'm thinking like 2 hours, but I'm going to keep it really nice and steady. See how we go. But yeah, generally feeling good. Heart rate variability was a bit weird this morning. So the HRV initially said parasympathetic nervous system response. So very low resting heart rate and very high HRV, and like higher HRV than I've ever seen before. So I think it must have been wrong because I don't look at my phone while it's doing it, and sometimes the heart rate monitor bugs out and the heart rate shoots to 200 beats per minute. So it might have done that, and a couple of times too many, and it skewed the data. So I took it again, and it said sympathetic nervous system response, and it was again a low readiness score. But at the end of the day, like I would be inclined to believe it if it's been the case that during all this illness that I've had this poor readiness score, and so like I was ill for the past 5 days. So if I had a low readiness score every day for those 5 days and it was still low today, then I'd be like, okay, maybe I trust it a little bit and want it to return to normal before I get back to training. In these 5 days that I've been ill, my HRV, it's been giving me readiness scores of 8, 9 or 10. And like not detecting anything. I would have picked up the illness on the Friday, so you'd thought maybe it picks it up on the Saturday. Sunday I had a sore throat. That's when I started taking paracetamol. I was just like, okay, something's wrong here. Still on a Sunday didn't get a response from the HRV. So I haven't had a response from the HRV for this illness. So it's only now. It's like I've driven off a cliff and I'm falling to my death, and then my sat nav is saying cliff face ahead. It's like brilliant, mate. So obviously I'm going to be taking it steady and being careful, but it's not because of my readiness score from the HRV. It's because I'm still not. I feel much better. I feel normal again, but obviously I'm not 100%, and I'd like to feel good on Saturday. Ideally race on Saturday. If I'm not ready for it, I'm not going to race. But there's no reason why I won't feel okay on Saturday. So just see how today and tomorrow goes, and yeah, play it by ear. Right, cornering time. My cornering this morning is cracked. You think don't ride a bike for a week and you forget how to do it, but yeah, there's this one sweeping corner coming down here, and I'm like, oh, I took that corner quite well. And then I mentioned this ramp. The first time I did the cornering, I mentioned the ramp. I've never been able to ride down it. I managed to ride down it today. Don't know what's wrong with me. Different rider. Make sure I don't get too cocky in the cornering practice today. Then make sure I'm just doing good technique, practicing good fundamentals, and not getting overexcited. I still ride that. Just did like an hour and 20 in the end, and yeah, nice and easy. Because at the end of the day, the purpose of the ride is just get me back into it, get me feeling okay. And generally, I felt alright. My nose is a bit sore, but yeah, generally feeling good. But there's no need to push it to. I need to get some training done. You know, I'm not going to be able to get any training done before Saturday, so that's absolutely fine. I just need to see if I'm actually able to ride the bike. So I'm optimistic that I should feel better tomorrow, and then if I'm feeling good tomorrow, then definitely do Saturday. But if I'm feeling slightly better tomorrow, then probably okay for Saturday. But if I'm worse tomorrow, then Saturday's probably a no-go. But we'll just have to see. Was also thinking about different positions on the road bike, and because obviously I've been thinking about utilising the shrug on the TT bike. I'm like, how can you actually use that on the road bike? And I think it's probably super useful on the road bike too. And if you're practicing it all the time on the road bike, then you're going to be much better at it when you're in the TT position too. Do some work on the new road bike, put an actual chain on it. Also going to change out this crankset for some 165s
11 speed. I'm assuming the spacing is exactly the same. It looks like it, but I'll see if that works. If not, go back to these 172.5s. So I'd say the spacing on those is, I'd say that's, it's at least, I think it's meant to be the same. It looks exactly the same to me, so I'll definitely try it, see what it's like. That was really stiff to get out for whatever reason. Cleanest this bike will ever be. It's pretty. You know, it's a legit Shimano chain when the quick link's an absolute pain in the ass. Put the pedals on and then just press down on it to snap that quick link into place. And yeah, everything seems good. The front shifting might not be as good as the 12 speed chain set, so I'll test what that's like out on the road, see if it's absolutely fine or not. It was shifting really well, and then I've got a few clunky shifts, so maybe it's the case this 11 speed's not as good, but like I say, I'll test it out on the road, see if I'm happy with it or not.
Hey guys, it's Friday. Got my race tomorrow, so doing kind of an opener ride today. Obviously, it's just getting the legs moving and seeing how I'm feeling. Generally feeling quite good. Obviously, I'm not going to be at 100%. Haven't been training at all this week, so I'm just going to have to resting on my laurels. But it's going to be still a really good opportunity to just focus on my aero and see how I'm going to stack up against John. That'll be really useful. Hopefully he shows up. John Archibald's starting a minute behind me, so if I can hold him off, that'll be a good ride, and see how much better he is than me at the moment. Going to be doing 3 minutes of maximal fatigue warm up, 3 minutes of maximal fatigue test, 15-minute tempo, kind of like what I'd do at the start of a TT threshold session that I didn't get to do this week because I've been ill. And yeah, just see how those feel, but generally feel all right, so should be okay for tomorrow. But yeah, see. Also get the opportunity to see how the cork compares to the kicker core. After the race and the big power numbers, I was looking forward to comparing how the cork compares to my kicker core, to see if that backs up with what I've been thinking with my left-sided power meters reading low because my left leg's weaker, rather than the kicker necessarily reading high. So it'll be interesting to see how the cork and the kicker compare to each other, because like I say, I was planning on doing a threshold session this week and that would have given me some good data, but that's going to have to wait until next week. Hop on with my ride now. That's my bike in real life as well. Oh. So my fatigue test took a while to get going, and it's obviously warmer in here. Cork definitely reads similar to the kicker, looks like. I'll check the data afterwards. So my suspicions about my left leg being weaker are probably true. It took a while to get going on that effort, but like 390 for 3 minutes, and leg's pretty heavy. Didn't feel bad chesty or anything. It doesn't feel amazing, but not horrible. Mainly just heavy legs. Maybe time to exhaustion 10 minutes. Would have been leg fatigue that gave out, but yeah, generally feeling okay. So just do a 15-minute tempo effort, see how that feels, spend a little bit more time in position, then get ready for tomorrow. Just gonna have to be an aero boy tomorrow, not gonna have any legs. There we go, got it done. 15 minutes of 320 was a lot harder than it should be, but you know, it's to be expected. Not too bad breathing wise, just mainly heavy legs. So yeah, just see how I get on tomorrow. Was working on holding the shrug for that 15-minute effort, so definitely gets fatigue in your shoulders, so need to keep practicing that and get used to it so that I can be a bit more aero. That's what I need. So the derailleur's fine, it's just... Right, so the bad news is obviously can't ride the bike tomorrow, but I've already contacted Matt, and it's should be a pretty straightforward fix, but I just don't have a specific tool that I need to fix it, so I've managed to take the cage off. I'm not going to be able to put it back on and tighten it, so I'll just have to sort that when I go in to see Matt for a proper fit. Matt recognised what the issue was straight away, so it shouldn't be too difficult to fix. Well, yeah, should be very straightforward, and nothing wrong with the bike. Thankfully, it's not broken. Right, my room is a mess because obviously I had the bike fell on me, but yeah, should be all okay. And when I go to see Matt relatively soon to get my bike fit done, we'll just sort out the bike there, because I need the specific tool to reattach that
derailleur cage. Was a bit stressful, that. My original plan was to do this 15-mile time trial in Cambridge, and because I haven't been able to train this week, I was going to use it as like an aero training exercise. Like the power wasn't going to be amazing, so I'm just going to be focused on getting as aero as possible, and seeing how I do against John Archibald. But with me not being, I mean, I could ride my Cervelo, but I'm not going to learn as much if I'm on the old bike. It's a big old drive to Cambridge. Just weighing everything up, it's like, okay, maybe it's not worth it to do it, and I'll get more benefit from actually just doing some training this weekend. Because also, if you go do a race, you're not getting as good a training stimulus as you could do. Because I'll do like an hour and a half tops while I'm there, warm up, cool down, race. But if I'm here, I could easily just like bash out 3 hours of solid training, and it's a lot less stressful as well. So yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that instead. And the weather's looking nice as well. So I've already let the organiser, this first event that I've not no-showed to, so I've already sent an email to the organiser, just letting them know I'm not coming, because just so they know ahead of time. I wanted to do the event. I was looking forward to it, and even with this week not being ideal with my illness, I was like, okay, I still want to do this event, and I'm going to use it as an aero activity rather than just a full-on race. But because of the circumstances that happened earlier today, like, that's not happening, and got to readjust. And I think getting a good weekend of training will do me good, because, like I say, I haven't been able to train at all this week. I did a ride yesterday, and like an opener ride today, and so I'm definitely feeling much better. So can crack on with some training this weekend, and then get back to it, and then smash it at my next time trial in a few more weeks' time. Right. Oh yeah, so Propel's totally ready, so I can ride that tomorrow. I'm going to actually put the Cervelo on the turbo. I'll probably do a TT session to start off with, do a TT threshold session. I did my 3-minute submaximal fatigue test and tempo effort, so I think I'll just go straight to the threshold effort, and then probably get outside for a nice ride. So yeah, I need to change the 12-speed cassette back to the 11-speed Shimano one. Nice and straightforward. Then put the Cervelo back on there, train on the Cervelo in the morning, and then get out on probably this bike, this steed. It's all okay. Hey guys, it's Saturday. Like I mentioned, I've decided not to do the race, so I'm just going to get a training day done today. Nice opener ride yesterday, so might as well try a TT threshold session since I wasn't able to do that this week. So a 40-minute threshold effort, aim for around 360 watts, but might not quite be there just because of the illness this week. See how it goes. I'm back on the Cervelo. After the issue with the Trinity yesterday, so causing me not to be able to ride the race. At least I got this TT bike to do a session on, so yeah, it's all good. A couple of torque efforts afterwards, take me up to about an hour and a half, and then get out on the road bike, get out on the Propel for the first time. All ready to go, so might as well see what it's like on the road, and then maybe do a Tameside crit on Tuesday next week. Right, warmed up, feel good, time to start the session. 40 minutes around 360, let's aim for. Good session that, 40 minutes at 358 watts from the kicker. Core I still reading a lot lower, obviously because of now I've discovered that it's my left leg that's weaker, well, confirmed that with a relatively high degree of certainty. Yeah, that effort felt really good. One of the best for comfort in the saddle. I didn't have to get out of the saddle at all, didn't have to move around too much, change up the cadence too much. Very planted on the sit bones. I'm back on my old saddle because I can't be asked to move the Citero from the Trinity. So this one's a lot narrower, so I've just slammed it forwards. It's not 5 centimeters behind the bottom bracket, which is what I aim for, but it's probably similar to my Citero being 5 centimeters behind the bottom bracket, maybe even a bit further back. I'm just like, I don't really care. I might have to move the saddle back for UCI reasons anyway, so I'm changing it up by a couple of centimeters. Not too concerned. What I found is I kind of have two positions that I can work in. One of which is a bit more forward. It's kind of the no shrug position 2 kind of. No shrug, bury the head. And I'm more forward, so I'm less planted on the sit bones, but I do that's my kind of preferred riding position. If I ride in that too long, there's a wasp on the window. I fucking hate wasps. In my old room, I got stung by wasps so many times. Woke up in the morning, get stung by a fucking wasp. And I got stung by a bee before the National 25 last year as well. Hate the bastards. My preferred position is kind of more forward, but it's not as planted on sit bones. So if I ride in that position too long, I get numbness and I have to change up the position a bit. It's also a bit more quad dominant. But what I found is position 3, where I utilise the shrug. I can shorten the reach, roll my shoulders forward. In compensating for that, I can get further backwards in the saddle or increase the steepness of my lower back, which basically means I can be a lot more planted on my sit bones by kind of forcing myself back in the saddle, rolling the shoulders forward to induce that. I've got this steeper back angle, which is probably going to be better for power transfer. That power through your legs is coming from your lower back, a lot of it. If I switch up the positions, if my shoulders get tired from the shrug, I can dip forward to the other position. Also being backwards in the saddle, I can feel it a lot on my hamstrings. Hamstrings are really sore after that effort. Just because normally I'm more forward, more quad dominant. But it basically means I've got 2 positions I can work between, which is really nice, and they're probably negligible in terms of aero, so I can just utilise them both to, when I get tired in one, switch to the other. So yeah, really good. Just spin out a little bit now, get the heart rate to come down, and I think I'll get out on the Propel. See how I'm feeling. I might do some torque efforts outside on the Propel. I am also wearing the no pins bib shorts today, which are very comfortable. Normally I don't like bib shorts. The 2 that I've had before, either the chamois not the great and the actual bibs themselves are quite irritating, but these are super soft and the chamois seems decent. So maybe that's playing into it, because normally I just wear the shorts with no bibs and they're just going to be able to move around a little bit more. 90% of comfort in the saddle is coming from being on your sit bones properly. You can find the most comfortable bib shorts in the world, but if your sit bones are off the side of the saddle, you're going to get saddle sores. And making sure you're planted on the sit bones is the key thing. But then obviously a comfy pair of bibs is going to help, and a good chamois. What's up guys, it's Durian Rider. For the first ride on the Propel. Good stuff, let's get on with it. Already had some issues with disc brake rub. I think the main thing is just making sure that the wheel's properly seated in the dropouts and the through axle secure, because I lined it and it was still rubbing, and then I redid the through axle and it was fine. So good old disc brakes, you know. But I reckon if you keep on top of it, and then they're still alright. But yeah, should be good. I've already calibrated the acetiometer for 165s, and yeah, see how it rides, see how it holds its speed. Oh, lovely. Can confirm the Propel does hold its speed. Super smooth ride, nicest bike I've ever ridden. I haven't got to ride the Trinity too much, so but this is just, yeah. I get why people like it. People say the Propel is a pretty stiff ride, but for me, I'm coming from a 2013 TCR with an integrated seat post, 25mm tyres and 30mm tyres. Really nice. Like, even on the crap bits of road, it's really not too bad. I really like the geometry as well. It's like a shorter reach, and I'm like, it's very much like I can get into that TT position. Got a lower saddle height, same as my TT bike, and just bring that reach shorter, and then try and shrug the shoulders. Come stock with some wide handlebars. I like 42s. Obviously it would be better if these were narrow, but when I have to get the brakes redone at some point, I'll definitely move to a narrower set of handlebars. Other than that, it feels amazing, to be honest. It feels really nice. Only other issue, it's my fault. It's the front shifting with the 11-speed chain set. It's just, I'm getting that clickiness. I shift and it's just not clicking up. And also it seems like you can't cross chain very well. I know that sounds silly, but as soon as you get like halfway up the cassette, it starts ticking on the derailleur. So it might be the chain ring issue, but yeah. So my options are move to the 12-speed chain set with they're 172.5, so not ideal. These 165s, I could make them 1x. I've got a 170s that are already 1x on my TT bike, and I feel like this bike would do really well with 1x, to be honest. Maybe like just a 54. I'm going to be experimenting with that on the TT bike for some hilly courses. Go to probably stay 1x, but a smaller front chain ring. So maybe I do the same on the Propel. and it's only super hilly courses where you need a front derailleur. But yeah, really happy with it, and yeah, can't complain at all. Bloody hell, it's been attack of the flies out here though. Been getting swarmed by green flies. Like, I did 2 3-minute high torque efforts, and those are horrible because I was just getting attacked by these flies during this effort that's already nasty, pushing a massive gear up a hill, and I'm just getting swarmed by these fucking green flies. Like, fuck off, man. I'm absolutely caked in them. Not too bad now that it's come into the shade a little bit, but yeah, get back home now. This bike is just fucking ace. So nice. Just getting 20 minutes of cornering practice done for the first time on the Propel, and yeah, feels good. Obviously I've got so much more grip in these tyres with them being 30 mils rather than 25s. So like the amount of grip I have in them is so much more, but I'm certainly not pushing the limit of grip when I'm doing this cornering practice. I haven't even had any close calls. Gradually learn how much you can lean the bike and learn how to counter lean with it, and just get better at it over time, rather than forcing yourself that, oh, I need to corner at this speed and this angle. You know, it's yeah, don't need to rush it. I just want to be a confident, safe cornerer, you know. Higher than High Bradfield is just the most amazing. Wow. Chugging along, holds its speed, pedals itself, is asking you to go faster. Lovely hike to the This bike is just pure sex. So good. Other than the front shifting, yeah, I just started filming that, tried to front shift, it's like just not going. I thought I'd suss it out. I thought it just needs to be in a big gear at the back, and then the front shift works a bit more reliably, but yeah, still not perfect. So I'll decide what I'm going to do with that, which, if I'm going to change out the chainset or what. But yeah, oh, the bike is just so good on the descents and the corners. It's just so much nicer. Because like you can corner well with rim brakes, but you have to like judge how much speed you scrub off really well, and the disc brakes are so much more forgiving. Like you haven't scrubbed off enough speed, you can just slow down so much quicker, and it's like a confident brake. Like slamming on the brakes with rim brakes, it's kind of not nice. Like slamming on the rim brake, the disc brakes a bit more, feels absolutely fine. Bomber. So definitely should lead to more confidence in the bunch on a disc brake bike for sure.